Apple Music seems to be the biggest thing we're expecting, and it's, a very crowded market already. So what can we really expect?
Well, that's the big question mark, really, is what can Apple do that's really different and distinct? When we think about these music services, there's not a huge difference in the library of music available. So it boils down to sort of the secondary things, how you package it, how you put it together, how you discover music. All of those things become more important. And, will they have DJs on channels and things like that to kind of bring some kind of new life to this music service? So that's the big question mark, is what can they do to really distinguish themselves from, like you said, the very strong competition.
And we also thought there might be something about TV, but it seems like that's not going to happen.
No, everything we're hearing is that, unfortunately, the TV thing is going to take them much longer. They can't get the contracts together. I mean, in the long run, I think they're doing the right thing, but they need to get local channels for local sports and things like that, and that's what people want before I think they're going to cut the cord, and so, unfortunately, that's going to take longer.
Apple's bet on TV has been a long time in the making. Jobs, talked about it before he passed away. What about updates to HealthKit, HomeKit, WatchKit? I got my watch, by the way.
Yes, I was going to comment on that as well.
The soft pink band. I just have to point it out.
I think that's going to be the big news, right? I mean, it's a developer conference, just like Build is for Microsoft and I/O is for Google. This is about getting their developers excited about building apps for their ecosystem and platform. And, they talked a lot, big picture-wise, around HomeKit last year. Then they recently started talking about HealthKit. Obviously, they've talked about WatchKit. I think they need to flesh those visions out. And so I expect the big news is going to be around how, they can do more with HomeKit, how it's going to integrate, what kind of products are going to be available, what they could potentially do with HealthKit, how you can do better, faster apps with, Apple Watch. And, a lot of the early apps, people were saying, oh, they're really slow and they don't do a lot. Part of the challenge is because developers didn't have full access to the device.
What about cars?
And
CarPlay, right? I mean, a lot of excitement about cars. We got a little hint from an Apple executive at the Code conference a couple of weeks ago that they're interested.
Exactly. And it's a huge area. And the other big question that I have is, will we start to see Apple finally do this kind of their Apple version of IoT, right? Because they have all the different pieces with home and health and fitness and car, but they haven't really told the whole story about all of that stuff coming together. So one question mark I have is, will we start to see them talk about things like a digital identity service that allows you to move across services and devices and cars and everything, all unified through some kind of Apple identity service? That would be interesting.
Now, we're also expecting updates to the mobile operating system, OS X, no hardware at all, right?
I don't think so. That's the general sense of it.
So, in the grand scheme of WWDCs, how much does this one matter? I mean, what will be important? I
think this is more of a refinement year. It's more about, and there's sort of a yin and yang with WWDCs. There's some years you've got the big, announcements, new products, a lot of things happening. This year seems more like, all right, we talked about a lot. Now we're going to flesh it out. We're going to refine it. We're going to make it better. And they're doing a number of things like that I think are going to be more subtle. So the end result is, the news result is a little bit on the lower side than previous years.